Hello everyone. So today I am going to teach you types of chemical reactions. This is as part of your revision. Okay, so let's start with the first type, which is combination reaction. As the name suggests us, combining something. Suppose if I have a compound, it is a product of two elements, right? Suppose if I take a carbon dioxide, which is a compound, is a combination of carbon and oxygen. This is known as a combination reaction. In terms, if I say A plus B is equals to C. C is a new product which contains the property of A and B. Okay, let's know a few examples. Magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. This is not balanced. To balance it, you should add here in place 1 minute. Yeah. So you should add 2 here. So 2 oxygen and 2 oxygen is balanced. And to balance magnesium, we should add 2. There is a main important question from boards that they might ask. I'll say after this. Okay. Now, calcium oxide or quicklime plus water gives us calcium hydroxide, which is slag lime. The one we should remember is that when there is a combination reaction, only one product is formed. That one we should write. The definition is probably a combination reaction is a reaction where two or more reactants combine to form only one product is called combination reaction. Only one product is called. Next, for example, burning of coal, carbon plus oxygen, carbon dioxide, which I said before. And next is hydrogen plus oxygen molecules, which gives us water. So, like this, we are only getting one product. The thing we should remember, we should only get one product, then it is combination reaction, and you will easily get marks. Now, I started with balancing magnesium and oxygen, right? So, board might ask you, why is it necessary to balance a chemical equation? The answer should be like, according to the law of conservation of mass, mass can neither be created nor destroyed, it can just be transferred. Therefore, we have to balance the chemical equation. That's your answer, and you'll get your 2 marks because probably they'll ask you for 2 marks only, right? Let's move further. Decomposition reaction. When a single reactant decomposes to form two or more, for example, A, or let's continue C. C add an external pressure so that it has split into two different things. C gives rise to A plus B. This reaction can only occur when there is an external force acting on it or an external support. Let me say, there are three types. One is thermal decomposition reaction, in which heat energy for decomposition of a reactant means heat energy is involved such that there is a decomposition reaction taking place. For example, I have ferrous sulfate. When heated, it gives ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide, and sulfur trioxide. So here 2FeSO4 on heat. There is a heat. Heat is an external condition which is supplied to this such that it gives Fe2O3 ferric oxide, SO2 and SO3. There is an important question. Wait, there is an answer. I don't remember the question. I want the answer. First, write the decomposition of iron namides, iron sulfate. So you should you should start with FeSO4 dot 7H2O. 7H2O is its molecular number, so it is pale green in color. Then on heat, when there is a heat supplied, it gives FeSO4. On for that is one equation one. You will get there 1 mark, and the other mark you will get when you write FeSO4 on heat means this is the second part. FeSO4 on heat gives us Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3, where SO2 and SO3 are harmful gases released. They're so harmful for us. SO2 and SO3 gases. Don't ask me why, because you can try it practically and I'm not responsible if you die or if you choke. So you have to write like that. They will not ask you for 1 mark. As we don't have 1 mark question, they'll ask you for 2 marks completely, or they might ask us, for a 2 marks question, two which can be there, A and B, where A question can be such thing. But I always suggest you to write both the equations because you have to get full marks, right? Yeah, let's move further. Calcium carbonate or limestone, when supplied to heat can be represented with a triangular symbol. You can see my answer is a triangular symbol. Triangle is also known as delta, delta in max and also in physics, and triangle in max, of course, delta in physics, and also in max we can use it. And now here it is equivalent to heat. When calcium carbonate is supplied with heat, it gives us calcium oxide or quicklime and carbon dioxide. See here, when there is one product, one reactant supplied with an external condition such as heat, gives us two different products, is known as thermal decomposition reaction. Let's move further, doing the second type, which is the electrolysis decomposition reaction. So, as the name suggests, electrolysis, electricity is involved in this type of decomposition reaction. We have an activity in a textbook, which is activity number 1.7. We have to take a mug, then drill two holes and fit the rubber stopper in the holes and insert the carbon rods. Or, carbon rods and graphite rods both are the same because graphites are the allotropes of carbons. You'll know about allotropes in carbon and its compounds chapter. Let's leave it and let's move further. And these rubber stoppers are shown in the figure, as shown in this figure. Connect these electrodes to a 6 volts battery. These electrodes are graphite rods here referred to as, to the 6 volts battery. Next, fill the mug with water such that few electrodes are immersed in it. Okay. Add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to water. There is a great use of dilute sulfuric acid in this. I'll say regarding this dilute sulfuric acid in the last. First, let us read the activity. Okay. Take 2 test tubes filled with water and invert it into 2 carbons. Okay, like this. Then, yeah, switch on the current. Means we should turn on the current and leave the apparatus undisturbed for some time, probably 10 minutes. Let's take. You will observe the formation of bubbles at both the electrodes. These bubbles displace water in the test tubes. Then, as okay, then we have few questions. We have to answer this. Before that, I'll say you people what is the advantages of dilute sulfuric acid in this electrolysis. The use of dilute sulfuric acid is to increase the ionization. Okay. Now let us answer this question. I am so lazy to read, but yeah, you have to write as an experiment, and the board's exam if they ask you, you're not going to probably write these questions. You'll have a conclusion that the hydrogen, I'll write here once. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, hydrogen which is there, He2O. One is having positive charge and another one is a negative charge. It is anion, it's a cation, hydrogen cation, and oxygen is an anion. Okay, oxygen is an anion. Anion will go towards the anode. Every student have this confusion. Remember, cation. Cations are 1 minute, it's too large. Yeah. Cations are positive. Oh no, they are negative. Yeah, they're positive. Positive. Cations are positive. Anions are negative. Whereas cathode is negative, cathode is negative and ode is positive. Anode, yeah, it is positive. Now, hydrogen having a positive charge is a cation. I don't remember what did I say, whether it is an anion or cation. It is an anion. Okay? It's a cation. I'm so sorry. Hydrogen is a cation, whereas the oxygen having negative charge would be anion. Okay. Now, always the negative charge will be attracted to the positive side and the positive one will be attracted to the negative side. So, here at cathode, which is the negative side, where all the hydrogen ions will be going on. Then at anode, which is a positive part, which is a positive thing, will, you know, there the oxygen molecules will go on. Remember this hopefully. Let us move further. And yeah, I forgot to say normal graphite rods, we can't say whether they're anode or cathode. They don't have any charge until unless they're connected to a battery. This is just an extra information until unless you wanted to know. Because it'll avoid confusions, right? Yeah. So now, in which ratio is this oxygen and hydrogen is there? Hydrogen and oxygen is there in 2:1 ratio. Remember this 2:1 ratio. Next, photolytic. Oh my god. Photolysis decomposition reaction. This decomposition reaction, not heat, either not electricity. Here, photosynthesis. What do you remember from photosynthesis? Where the plant makes food with the help of sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, uh, and all right, chlorophyll, like that. So here, photo means sunlight. So usage of sunlight for decomposition reaction is known as photolysis decomposition reaction or photolysis decomposition reaction. Now, let us know an example which is given in a textbook, which is activity 1.6 or 8. I don't remember, 1.6 probably. 1.8. Take about 2 grams of silver chloride or AgCl in a china dish. China dish is basically the normal bowl which you can observe here. A bowl. I wanted to mention china dish, it's just a bowl. Yeah, but in exam I had to mention it as china dish, right? Because a word contains value. What is it color? Silver chloride turns into gray. I don't know, sorry. Place the china dish in still in sunlight for some time. Observe the color of the silver chloride after some time. Okay, here we have the answer. You will see that the white silver chloride, okay, the color of the silver chloride or AgCl is a white color and it will turn into gray color when it is kept in sunlight for some time. This is due to decomposition of silver into silver and chlorine by sunlight. AgCl, due to the force of it, due to the sunlight, it has splitted into Ag, which is silver, and chlorine, which is Cl2. Yeah, this equation is balanced. Let's move further. Displacement reaction. Here comes the main thing. Here in schools, many teachers teach in different ways, but yeah, most of the teachers choose a great example, not a great example, a funny example. Okay, let us see. When more reactive elements displaces less reactive elements in its compounds. For this, we should know periodic table. This is periodic table. Always a high reactive metal will displace the low reactive metal from its salts. Let me explain you this in detail. Let me explain what exactly this displacement means. Okay, there's a girl. Okay, let's take there is a boy or any gender. So he loves people based on the richness. He or she loves based on the richness. So first he went with this, who was rich enough at that year. He or she was with he or she in that year. Now, the next year, a girl or a boy named A came, who is rich, more rich than C. Wait, who is more rich than B. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, this B is replaced with A. Wait, this is quite confusing. I hopefully think so. Let me say a normal example. There is a fat guy, and there is a thin guy, and there is a thin lady. So this fat guy can punch that thin fellow and push him away and can take the thin guy. Am I right? Are you able to understand or imagine that? Most of the teachers will say in this situation only, right? So like this, you should understand this is displacement reaction. So let us take with an example Fe or silver plus copper sulfate gives rise to FeSO4, iron sulfate plus copper. Here, the reactants are 2, where the products are also 2. Remember, Fe plus CuSO4 gives rise to FeSO4 plus Cu. For both, they might ask you a question. In the below reactions, will the reaction take place or not? And they might give you that CuSO4 plus Fe gives rise to, means they'll ask us to write the products as well as whether they'll take a reaction or not, means the reaction will take place or not. So in case if they give iron separately and copper sulfate separately like this, you can write yes, the reaction will take place as iron is greater than copper in the reactivity series. Above, we can say it displays above the copper in reactivity series. So it gives FeSO4 iron sulfate plus copper. But suppose if they give this ulta, अब marks are हो गया, you'll think like you will write exactly the same thing in reverse. Let me explain you what exactly the students will do. If they ask FeSO4, I hopefully think so you're able to see my writing. So FeSO4 is there, and then you take copper. Then the students ultimately, they'll write the reaction that it gives rise to CuSO4 plus Fe. So, is it correct? No, it is completely wrong. Because Fe, which is a higher reactive metal in this place, basically Fe is a moderate reactive metals in the reactivity series. First few are higher, then moderate, then low. It doesn't matter for us now because we are not doing, metals and non-metals, right? First, let us know about this. Then we'll metals and non-metals, let deal afterwards. So now remember, iron is placed above copper. Yes, right? So copper can't replace iron from its salt solution. I already said you before. A higher reactive metal will displace a lower reactive metal from its salt solution. So FeSO4 is its salt solution of iron. And copper is a low reactive metal compared to iron. So will the reaction occur? It is no, there will be no reaction taking place. You should write no. If you write the same reaction ulta and you expect It's almost correct now. Please give me half mark. They won't give you a half mark. Remember, there'll be no reaction taking place. Remember always this, mark once, there'll be no reaction taking place, right? In case, but suppose if I have here zinc, if I have here zinc, will the reaction takes place or not? Let us see this one and let us decide whether the reaction will take place or not. Calcium, sodium, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron. So zinc and iron. So is zinc above or below iron? It is above iron. So according to this, the reaction will take place. Yes. You should write the answer as yes, and you should write zinc sulfate plus iron. Hope you got my point. Okay, next we have zinc only. The example. Zinc plus copper sulfates gives rise to zinc sulfate plus copper. Okay. Zinc sulfate plus copper. Let me explain you one more thing. I hopefully think a few are confused. Over 80% are okay with this concept, but 20% are not okay, right? Let me explain you. Suppose if they give copper for you, above all the metals of copper can replace copper. Okay. Suppose if I put zinc, where is zinc? Yeah, here. So if I take zinc, iron, and below zinc, no reaction, no metal can displace it. Only aluminum, magnesium, calcium, sodium, and potassium can replace from its salt solution. Let us move further to double displacement reaction, right? So when there is a mutual exchange of ions, the reactants are called as double displacement reaction. Remember, if there's which type of reaction is also known as a precipitation reaction, then it would be a double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction is also known as precipitation reaction because there is a precipitation formation in most of the cases. Okay, now let us know with an example. If sodium sulfate and barium chloride are there, no, this is a big thing. Let us go on with a small thing. Sodium sulfate. Oh, it's not sodium sulfate. Na2S. I don't know what they call it as. Na2S plus hydrochloric acid. HCl. It gives rise to NaCl plus H2S. So here always, whenever we write ions, we write positive, negative, positive, negative. What did I say before? Positive will attract negative and negative will attract positive. So here sodium has a positive valency and chlorine has a negative valency. So this and this will get attracted and give us common salt as NaCl, and sodium and hydrogen are there. I mean, hydrogen and sodium are there, right? So this both will combine and form H2S gas. I think so they call sodium sulfide. I'll just check in Google and I'll just say, give me a minute. I'm absolutely correct. It is sodium sulfide itself. Okay. Now let us move further, but there is nothing there left except oxidation and reduction reaction. Yeah, I forgot to say this first example. Yeah, let me explain you that. When sodium sulfate combines with barium chloride. Here, sodium is having a positive charge and this is having a negative charge as so forth. Positive, negative. In the same way you get this. We have oxidation and reduction which combines together and form redox reaction. Uh, it will again extend my video and it'll make it hard. So I thought of making it as a separate video. I'll try to make it as soon as possible. Yeah. So if you like this video, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to Raghu 16 channel. See you next day. Bye bye.